Hey everybody, welcome back to this Behaviour Revolution new website. It's fresh, it's clean, and we're getting through these little fruit pizzas here with the main topics that people want to know when they first come into Yahusha. Or maybe you just want a refresher or just to go through these things so you can see easy resources to send your mates if they want easy answers. And I do direct you to other places if you want more scholarly, deep and meaningful things, but for most of us, just want the truth. Easy, simple, bite-sized packages, thank you. We can tell if something's true or not. It rings true in our spirit. You don't always have to prove something all the time and argue about it. You can actually receive something, believe it or not, without argument. I know that's foreign to most of you, but you can actually receive truth. So let's click on this next one today. It's called, what is the Shabbath? The Shabbath day. Well, it is the sign of our marriage covenant. Interesting. Sign of our marriage covenant. The marriage covenant, of course, was given on Sinai, officially. But nothing really new was given on Sinai. It was really who he was, the same instructions he would have been teaching Adam, Seth, Noah, all these men throughout the ages. He just made it a legislation. He made it like a law, the laws of the land. This is our constitution. Yeah? How we're going to live. You want to live in my land? You live by my instructions. And this was the sign. Just like Noah had a sign, this was the sign of the marriage covenant, the Shabbath day. Resting on the Shabbath day is the fourth commandment given to Moses on Sinai and part of the new behaviour which Yahushua wants all of us to follow. Even today, because his word is eternal. Resting on the seventh day Shabbath every Saturday shows us that we are in obedient blood covenant relationship with our Creator, and we have his mark upon us. Shabbath is actually an appointed time. If you look at the scriptures where it's given, before it gets to the actual feast days, it talks about the Shabbath. It's actually an appointed time, a moedim. What happens on a moedim? Something. Anything, something. If you're at the right place at the right time, you will see Yahushua do something. Same with the Shabbath. Of course, Shabbath just means rest. Shabbath is a day of rest where we do no buying or selling and we rest in our homes. Do that, you fulfill the day. It's great. Rest in your homes. Make your meals an interesting and exciting family time. Read, snooze, listen to music, have some time alone, some cuddle time, Netflix and chill. But remember, it's a time of celebrating rest. Yeah? Because you can do all of those things any day of the week. What's the one day you do? What's the one thing you do on this day? You rest. Yeah? Rest. Physical rest. Stop. Cease. We do no work. No making the beds or doing the laundry. You should still pack the dishwasher for health reasons. Don't let the dishes pile up, particularly if you've got a big family. Common sense, please, especially in big families, yeah? Otherwise, you've got hours of work to do at the end of it, and sometimes you just can't recover from it if you've got lots of families, children in your house. Just be practical. Keep things clean and tidy. You don't have to go bizarre about it. But Shabbath has nothing to do with religion, because religion's got nothing to do with scripture. It's not in the scripture. Nothing to do with it. Shabbath has nothing to do with religion. We don't go to meetings. We don't go to the shops or visit family or friends. Don't do any of that. I'm sorry if that's what you've seen other believers do. But the scriptural instruction is to stop, no working, rest. Stay within your gates. Yeah? It's a lovely family time. It's just a lovely time for family at home who will always remember the preciousness and joy of Shabbath. It is lovely. It's beautiful. It's the best day of the week. We look forward to it. Sunset Friday night. Woohoo! We're there. Exodus 20. Remember the Shabbath day to keep it set apart. It is set apart from everything else you do in your life. It is a set apart day. Yeah? Who set it apart? Yahushua set it apart. Yeah? in Exodus 31. This is where the instruction comes from. Speak to the children of YISHARAL, saying, you are to guard my Shabbaths by all means, for it is set apart to you and a sign between me and you forever, throughout your generations, to know that I, Yahuah your Elohim, am setting you apart. It's a sign. You set this day apart, and it's a sign that I am setting you apart. Everyone who disobeys this command to go out and do work will certainly be put to death. Interesting. That's how serious it was. You go out and do work on this day, you dead meat. And the children of YISHARAL shall guard it, the Shabbath, throughout their generations as a lasting covenant, a lasting agreement, a lasting institution. For in 6 days Yahuah made the heavens and the earth, and on the 7th day he rested and was refreshed. Yeah? He did it, we do it. Good enough for me. The Shabbath is to be observed every 7th day from sunset Friday until sunset Saturday. It is not determined by the phases of the moon and has nothing to do with Sunday worship services. Moon phases, ridiculous. Sunday worshippers, ridiculous. Flat earthers, ridiculous. Yahuah's people in the wilderness were given the examples of the manna. Yahuah's people in the wilderness were given the examples of the manna to retrain them into this 7-day cycle of behaviour. Retrain their minds from the Egyptian madness of idolatry back into this 7-day cycle of behaviour once again. This is the outward sign, just like the rainbow or circumcision in shadow times, of the marriage covenant that we have entered into. And the instruction is simple. You couldn't get a simpler instruction. Stay within your gates and rest. Do not do any work. Do not buy or sell. How many days have you heard your alarm clock go off and you got to go to work and you go, I just want to stay in bed today. You got a day to do that. I just don't want to do anything today. Bing! Enter the Shabbath day. It's a blessing. It's a joy. It's wonderful. It's a delight. Of course, because there's such an attack against anything that Yahusha puts forward, we all want to go out and suddenly there's so many things that are important to do on that day. No, do it tomorrow. No, do it tomorrow. Genesis 2, Yahuah spoke special words of blessing over the 7th day and set it apart from every other day because it's the day that he finished his creation and, by perfect example, rested in all his majesty after orchestrating such brilliance, splendor, and artistry. So, we are actually declaring with our behavior, not so much our words, but with our behavior and our lifestyle, we are declaring that we're copying our master. He worked 6 days and rested the 7th. We're going to do the same. Thank you very much. As for me and my house, we'll follow him, thanks. The 7th day Shabbath has been coined the heartbeat of creation because this 7-day cycle has been ticking away ever since the beginning, bearing witness to the existence of a creator Yahuah through everything we see around us. No matter what civilizations have tried to add an extra day or take an extra day or tamper with the calendar and look at the moon and the sun and do all this weird, creepy stuff, doesn't matter. The 7-day cycle still keeps ticking over because of his creation. So, by resting on the Shabbath, we are not only developing obedient behavior, we are also acknowledging through our lifestyle, I've just said this, that Yahuah is the creator of the heavens and the earth, and that just as he rested after everything he accomplished in that marvelous week, we follow his example and rest too. Why? Because we love him so much. Resting is the only acceptable form of worship on this day. And of course, worship is behavior. So if you've been listening to carpetbaggers who have told you that the Sunday is now the Shabbath day, well then you have been ripped off by Emperor Constantine, who mandated that back in 300 AD. You've been ripped off, mate. Because even if it was changed to that day, it's not a day for going out and celebrating and worshipping and having church services. No, it's a day to rest. And it is the 7th day. The 7th day is the Shabbath day. From Friday to Saturday. Sunset Friday to sunset Saturday. It's always been that way. So sometimes it's good just to receive things without arguing. Did you know that? Psalm 139. How precious are your thoughts to me, Yahuah? How great has been the sum of them. King David showed us the depth of relationship we can have with our Maker in Psalm 139. But if we don't stop and learn how to rest, we really can't hear Yahusha's voice. Interesting. If we don't stop and learn how to rest, we really can't hear Yahusha's voice. This is why Satan wants to keep us all so busy. Rest brings peace, which builds a wonderful relationship with Messiah. We are being delivered from the tyrant captors of today, religion, politics, finance, and Yahusha's word sets us apart through the new behaviour, sets us apart from this hierarchy and into his protection, where we'll be guided by his spirit, not to make stupid mistakes, but counting the cost as we walk on his word. He's setting us apart into his ways, taking his counsel, listening to his voice, resting the body, resting the mind, so that we can hear him. We're not tired, exhausted, stressed. Hebrews 4. So there remains a Shabbath keeping for the people of Yahuah. It's written right there. There remains a Shabbath keeping for the people of Yahuah. Remember, our only source of truth is Yahusha's word, not men's teachings. There is no liturgy regarding the Shabbath, only rest. This is between you and him. You do it by yourself if you want to. You just rest. You don't do anything for 24 hours. So, there's no rules. There's no set rules. That's the point. So if you feel Yahusha telling you that this or that is not to be done today, if you get carried away, we get distracted, someone makes a mess, you start vacuuming it up a bit because it's messy, and then you get distracted and you start vacuuming a little bit down the hallway, you start vacuuming, you'll hear, that's enough. You're not here to vacuum the house today. It's not a cleaning day. Don't get distracted. Put it away now. That's just an example. If you just get distracted and you start getting caught away on something, Yahusha will say, that's enough. Rest. You're here to rest today. You don't need a whole list of rules of things you're not allowed to do and things you are to do. No, it's just a day to rest and relax. You know, have some nice food, have a wine, watch some telly, read some scripture, have some conversation, have some sleep, some cuddles, whatever, as it said in the page. Just enjoy yourself. It's a delight. This day was given to us as a delight, not a burden. Those who refuse to enter covenant through immersion into Yahusha, which they are free to do, of course, they bring a curse upon themselves. And just look at all the Egyptian-esque plagues hitting this planet right now. Every single day on the news, have a look. There's an Egyptian-type plague happening. But with our deliverance comes a wonderful protection. Just like his people were protected in the land of Goshen while all these plagues were happening. His people are promised wonderful protection, joy and happiness of knowing that through our obedience to this new behavior, we will find peace and we will find rest. Yeah? So, want to know a little bit more? Let's go into this. So you've got the basic glossing over it and understanding. If you're happy to receive that, how wonderful. If you're happy to if you can feel your spirit jumping and going, I've been immersed, this is what I need to do, it's wonderful. Rest, it's one of the 10 commandments, rest. Yeah? Brilliant. If you want a little bit more convincing, or you just want some more understanding, let's go into this a little bit. The Sshabbath, because everyone needs to rest. And we read that scripture just up the top there, where Yahuah rested after creation. First steps after our immersion. This is where you're up to. If you've just been immersed, this is where you're at. You got the portal open on your heart, and then you're starting to read scripture and going, what do I need to do? What parts of my life do I need to change my lifestyle? Let's have a look. After our immersion, the first change we make to please Yahusha is to obey the 10 Commandments, which starts reprogramming our behaviour. As well as the 10 Commandments, we see in Acts 15 that the new immersed believers were told to abstain from the defilements of idols, pagan festivals, stay away from them. There's another fruit pizza about that. We'll get into that shortly. So they were told to abstain from idols, pagan festivals. They were told to abstain from whoring, having sex without being married, or looking and lusting after nakedness, getting involved in the pagan orgies, the idolatry, all that sort of stuff, sexuality, prostitution, all that sort of stuff that was going on all in and around the temple. Stay away from that. Stay away from what is strangled and from blood. Don't eat or drink blood because it's unclean. It's not food, it's unclean. And that was also involved in the temple worship as well, the paganism. So aside from the 10 Commandments, stay away from those 4 things too. Pagan festivals, immorality, sexual behaviour, unless it's within your marriage, and nakedness, that's pornography today, big running rampant these days. Anything that's strangled or from blood, so that brings you into the whole eating clean as well. Don't eat things that are not clean. There are many worldly habits from our former lives that need to be stopped immediately. Immediately. Those things basically, 10 Commandments and those 4 things there. And then there are incorrect, immature behaviours that Yahusha will reveal, burn up, and iron out over time as he trains us. There are just some things when you first come in that you don't know, you're immature, you don't know that they're wrong, and he will show you over time. But there are some things that you're supposed to stop straight away, yeah, because he hates them. So, when we rest on the 7th day, like Yahusha did, we are honouring him as the creator of the heavens and the earth and loving him. That's another scripture that we read above. At the sunset, 6 days Yahuah worked, 7th day he rested. It's a sign between you and I forever. That sign bit is interesting. An everlasting sign of our marriage covenant. Let's go into that a little bit, because you can see there's a list here of the 10 Commandments. The weekly 7th day Sshabbath is the outward sign of our covenant with Yahusha. Just like the rainbow in shadow times was a sign to us that he would never destroy the world with a flood again. Every time they saw that rainbow, they knew. Our instruction is very simple. Stay within our gates and rest. Do not do any work. Do not buy and do not sell. Rest and relax. Interesting and easy. That is the sign of our covenant, yeah, with Yahusha. Mentioned this above too, but common sense is to be used on the Shabbath. Big messes and neglect are not necessary. You can still maintain a certain level of tidiness and cleanliness. The point of the instruction is for us to rest our minds and our bodies in preparation for the week ahead. So read, pray, listen to music, watch some TV, have some happy conversation. If you feel Yahusha telling you that this or that not to be done today, then stop doing it. We've read that already. This was interesting. The manna in the wilderness. This was proof again that it's a 7-day cycle, not based on the phases of the moon. It's a 7-day cycle. Exodus 16, and Yahuah spoke to Moses saying, I have heard the grumblings of the children of YISHARAL. Speak to them, saying, between the evenings you are to eat meat, and in the morning you are to be satisfied with bread, and you shall know that I am Yahuah, your Elohim. They had to go out 6 days in a row to collect the manna, yeah, and the quails, all that sort of thing. But on the 6th day, they had to collect double, because none of that stuff happened on the 7th. And if they weren't obedient, they'd go hungry. It wouldn't last very long. It would spoil quite quickly. So they were supposed to keep some on the 6th for the 7th day as well. And that one wouldn't spoil. He fed them supernaturally. He sustained them supernaturally. And he taught them supernaturally that if you do what I say, you'll have no problems. Yahusha used the lesson of the manna in the wilderness to reprogram his people's behaviour because they had forgotten his covenant and instructions after being subject to 400 years of idolatrous behaviour as slaves in Egypt. This was the beginning of their training back into Yahusha's mindset. If they didn't put enough food aside for the Shabbath, they didn't eat. They would learn quick. The 7th day has been coined the heartbeat of creation because the 7th day cycle has been ticking away. We already read that above. We don't need to go through that again. Yes, I read that. So, all right, in this scripture here we dealt with up the top as well. There remains a Shabbath keeping for the people of Elohim as well. If you want to go into this in more context and get more understanding, you can go on the web page and look at this. The Shabbath day is a delight. It's the day we look forward to all week. Yahusha's people were instructed to cease from every sort of work on the Shabbath. Back in ancient times, every facet of life involved a lot of hard work, from hunting to cleaning, lighting fires and cooking, and everything in between. And many religious folks today have obviously forgotten what year they live in, have lost the context of the instruction, and have added many hardships, refusing to even turn on any electricity because it's spending money. Everything costs money. It costs money to breathe these days. It doesn't mean you're going out and spending literal money on that day. You're taking it to the furthest extreme. You're being ridiculous. They won't even turn on their electricity because they're spending money. They're buying electricity. Being ridiculous, guys. They won't even use the gas, hot water or stove because it's lighting a fire. My goodness. You're talking about going and it's about work. It's about rest. If you can light a fire by pushing a button and getting heat in your house or a flame on your grill, push the button for goodness sake and make your life easier. That's what the Shabbath is for, to make your life easier. It's talking about, in scripture, going out, chopping down trees, getting wood, lighting a fire, doing all that jazz. It's hard work. It's not hard work for us today in the 21st century, is it? Switch on and off a light switch. Switch on and off the stove. It's easy. Talking about work and rest. Maintain the context, guys. Come on. However, with Yahusha's Spirit inside us, making all our paths straight and easy, we can look at the simplicity and beauty of this instruction to just rest and see that in today's 21st century world of modern convenience, we can do almost everything with the flick of a switch, allowing us to rest, yet still look after our families, take a hot bath, whip up a light meal, throw some dishes in the dishwasher, whatever hobbies or quiet activities bring joy to your day of rest. Got it? It's common sense, guys. Don't become a ridiculous pseudo-Christian, Messianic, Jewish wicked idiot. You know, it's ridiculous what they go into, all that stuff. If we close our businesses, stay at home and be obedient to his instructions, Yahushua promises to look after us and bless us. Yeah? Just be normal, guys. Rest and enjoy the day. Do we say Sabbath? Do we say Sabbath, Shabbat, or Shabbath? This was interesting. Why don't we say Sabbath like the Christians do? Why don't we say Shabbat like the Jews? Why are we saying Shabbath? When the three Hebrew symbols Shin, Beth, and Tau are pronounced phonetically accurate, Shabbath is the sound you should hear. Simple, yeah? Shin is the shush sound. We dealt with this back when we were dealing with the name of Yahusha. It's a sh sound, just like in Yahusha's name. Yod, Hey, Ua, Shin, Ain. It's a sh. So there's your sh. Beth is not doubled, so there's no need for a double B. You don't need a double B. Double B, no. And the Tau is the sound, not a t sound, all right? So you've got the Shabbath, not Sabbath, not Shabbath, it's Shabbath, yeah? This may seem like a moo point. Ridiculous, why are we even talking about it? Unimportant. But the BYNV scriptures, which are the most accurate, spirit-inspired translation to date, has rendered Shabbath this way. And generally speaking, we see a certain behaviour. This is the key. Generally speaking, we see a certain behaviour surrounding those who say Sabbath, religious, Christianised behaviour. And for those who say Shabbat, we see a religious, Jewishized behaviour, don't we? I mean, we're generalising, but that's just generally what we see. Those people who say Sabbath are lovely Christian people, and those who say Shabbat are Jewish people, aren't they? But Shabbath is the actual correct way to phonetically sound out those Hebrew symbols. So let's be correct. Yahusha's bride is striving to be accurate as she can, not just in speech but behaviour also, because she loves Yahusha and wants to please her bridegroom. Do you feel like this? And we won't go through all these articles here. This is just more instruction. There are also more articles here. Just wanted to take you through and navigate this page for you. There's lots of articles down here. We've been talking about the Shabbath for many years now. There's a video here. What's this one about? This one is the Shabbath. That's from Exodus, where it was first given. That was from the Behaviour Evolution Scripture videos. There's also another one here. These are on autoplay for some reason. Schemes of the Dragon, that one as well. So that just gives you a general idea of what this web page is about, dealing with the Shabbath, all right? So rest, it's a delight. It's every 7th day you can relax, recharge your batteries, and it's the day I look forward to. It's the best day of the week, and I've got it coming up tomorrow night, and I can't wait. So have a couple of wines, kick your feet up, and find yourself a nice, lovely movie. Chill out with the family or with yourself, and you've got Yahusha. You're never lonely if you've got Yahusha within you through the portal. You can connect with him, yeah? There are pluses and minuses to having people around you, yeah? So take what you've got. It's what Yahusha's given you right now, and just rejoice. Shabbath's coming up. Woohoo! See you later.